for us. They're going to stand there with the gas can with us, trying to figure out the solution to how we going to get where we need to go with the empty car. So get the friends that are going to pray with you, not pray on you. So that's why it's important. It's important that we develop a strong support network. And then we want to avoid high-risk situations. Don't go with the friend that you know always get in trouble. Why are you hanging out with that friend? The friend that every time you go with him, you end up in handcuffs. Every time. Or everywhere y'all go, you got to fight. Every time. Or every time.
How do you know those kind of friends that if you go with, you will end up in a fight? If you go with, you might end up with the police. How does anybody that is at the beginning of the day, we know that this guy is somebody that is going to end up that way?
Because you're going to go back to number 3 and you're going to look at your journal. You're going to go back to number 3. That's why it's important to keep a journal. Because when you have a journal, you're able to look at when the phone rings and it's Mikey or it's Sarah, and you look at that journal and Sarah says, hey, you want to go on vacation with me? You go back and look at the journal and you remember, let me see, you know what? Last year I went on vacation with Sarah and I ended up paying for everything. And I remember we went to the restaurant and Sarah started a fight with the waitress and we all ended up in jail. And I had to call back to the States and I had to get my family to bail us out and call a lawyer in the Bermuda. That's how, because you're going to keep a mental record and you're going to keep a physical record. You're going to remember. It says you always play the tape. That's one of the things we talk about in recovery. Play the tape all the way to the end. Addicts, we have a tendency to remember only the good times. But if we play the tape all the way to the end, not just play the part where that says, oh, the party was nice and I was having fun. Play it all the way to the end where you ended up throwing up in the toilet, somebody holding your hair. Play it all the way to the end where you woke up the next morning with a black eye. Play it all the way to the end where you came from work and all of your furniture was on the curb because you couldn't pay the rent and you got evicted because you gambled all the money. Play it all the way to that end. Don't just play the tape to the part of the tape where you won the jackpot and you won $7,000. Play it to the end. So that's how you're going to know how to avoid risky situations. Because you're going to play the tape to the end. You're going to keep a journal. You're going to know that, maybe I shouldn't do that because the last time it did not end up so well. So that's side. And then we're going to get to number 6, and that's where we are today. Helping other people. So we know that it has been proven that when we help, when A helps B, A gets the most help. The greatest aspiration of the human heart is to be loved and to help others. It is something about helping other people that it just releases endorphins. It releases something in our body, in our mind, in our brain, and the feeling of feeling good. We feel good about ourselves. Have you ever tried to help somebody and you see how good they feel and you see the smile on their face, the genuineness of being able to really help somebody with no ulterior motive, with no strings attached. No strings attached. no motivation other than this, the kindness of your heart.
Yeah.
And you genuinely help, and how good it feels. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
It raises your self-esteem, your self-worth, and you get so much because it makes you feel good about yourself. And that's what we mean about when A, who is yourself, helps B, who is the other person, A gets more help. Because what it does is it improves your self-worth, self-esteem. And you know, if you want your self-esteem to rise, you do esteemable things. And the most esteemable thing that a person can do for themselves is to help another human being.
So if you are going to boost your self-esteem, what you do is to learn to do estimable things.
Yes.
And can you give an example of those kind of things people can do?
The most esteemable thing I can do is to help another human being. Okay. And sometimes helping, when I'm walking out the door, and somebody is walking out behind me, I can hold the door, not let it go in their face. When somebody gives me something, I can say thank you, because it costs me nothing. I can smile at another human being instead of giving them. It does nothing.
Is that why they say? Is that why they say it's more blessed to give than to receive?
Yes, to give. When I see the stranger on the street that says, I'm hungry, can you give me $1? Instead of me trying to figure out what they want the dollar for, just say, God, I pray that you bless this dollar and that they use it, Father God, for something. Instead of me, ask God, bless the dollar, ask God to bless, and pray that they use it. I'm not talking about, well, they're going to use it to buy drugs, and maybe if they use it, that dollar to buy the drugs, maybe they won't have to go rob the little old lady. See, I used to say, well, God, if they give them that dollar and they die with the dollar, then it's my responsibility. So maybe learn to bless the dollar I give them and say, God, let them use this dollar for something and bless the dollar. Because what? Guess what? Maybe because I didn't give them the dollar and they were so sick, dope sick.
Okay.
They were so dope sick, because dope sick meaning, right, that they needed something so bad and I denied them $1. So now they needed it so bad that they grabbed the lady purse and threw her down and killed her. So I could have blessed that dollar that I gave them. See, either way we look at it, because I can look at it, oh, I'm going to give them $1 to contribute to their death. So death is death. So either I can contribute to their death or I can contribute it to the old lady's death. Either way, I got a death on my hand. So why not just bless the dollar and say, God, bless this dollar that I give them, Father, that it may be used for something. When I bless the dollar, I have the power to ask God. When they go snatch the little old lady's purse, they don't have the ability, because they are caught up and the enemy has hold of them. So I have more power with my dollar than they do, because the enemy got a hold of them. So when we're talking about, hold up, let me pull it back up, helping other addicts. So they are the addict. That's another addict. So every other addict that I'm helping may not be the addict that's in recovery. So when we say help other addicts, We're talking mostly we want to help other addicts that are in recovery. But my opportunity to help another addict may not be just the addict that's in recovery. Sometimes it may be the addict that is still out there struggling. And it doesn't just have to be drugs. It may be the addict that's using. Now, maybe the addict that's gambling. Maybe if my brother calls and I know he has a gambling problem, maybe I won't give him $20. Maybe I'll say to him, if he said, I want to go to the casino, maybe I'll say, no, instead of going to the casino, come hang out with me.
Okay.
And maybe I'll say, so I have to use wisdom.
Yeah.
That's our wisdom. Maybe in that situation. So there's no set formula. There is no set formula for every situation.
Yes,
I don't use one formula for every situation. Every situation is different.
Yes.
Maybe I don't give every beggar $1. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I
get
look at the one junkie and he doesn't look like he's that sick. Maybe I won't give him $1. Maybe I'll say, hey, come on, get in the car. I'll take you and get you something to eat. But it's about using wisdom. And allowing.
Wisdom is to help you. Is that wisdom is to help you discern what you can do part-time with each person?
Yes, the wisdom and asking God for discernment. Not leaning to my own understanding, but asking God and his spirit to guide me so that I can know in each situation. There is no set formula in how I help persons, but the important thing is the help.
Yes.
Help. That's the key ingredient.
To have the heart to help.
Helping another addict, because that's what helps me to cope. Because remember, when we say helping another addict is not the focus here. The focus is the coping skill that I'm using to help myself. That's the ultimate purpose of me helping them. When A helps B, A gets the most help. Remember, I'm trying to help myself so I don't use.
Okay.
Remember, the exercise here is to find a way to keep me from going to use the drugs or the gambling or the eating or the pornography or the spending, the gambling. That's the purpose of me in this particular exercise. In this particular exercise, me helping them at this moment is so that I won't go use.
So you are telling me now that when you help other people, it prevents you from using.
Yes, in this particular exercise.
So when you help somebody, for instance, now that is having a temptation to use, or they're having a challenge, each time you try to help somebody in that state, is it more or less hold you back from doing the same thing? Is that what you are saying?
Yes. In this particular sense, yes. When I'm doing it, because if I'm not focused on self, it takes me outside of myself. And if I'm not in myself, I'm not seeking to do things because I'm not focused on those things. So if I'm sitting here and all I can think about, wow, I want to go to the casino right now. I want to go to the casino right now. And then all of a sudden, my sister calls and needs some help with whatever she needs help. And I start focusing on my sister and helping her. It takes away my focus from wanting to go to the casino.
So does it mean doing wrong things sometimes is based on what you focus on?
Yes. If I'm focused on doing the wrong thing and that's all I can focus on, chances are I'm going to do the wrong things. So if I remove the positive thought, today I send out a text. On a daily basis, I send out texts. messages, right? And I try to send out positive messages. So today my message was, well, let me find it. I didn't send it to her. Wow. It says no, this is not. Yesterday's message was, when we fill our thoughts with the right things, the wrong ones have no room to enter. So if I fill my thoughts with right things, I leave no room for the wrong things to enter.
So how do you fill your thought with the right things every day? What do you do to get that kind of focus? What are the exercises you can engage in that can help you to keep the right focus?
The right thing, well, the exercises I can do is think less of myself and think more of others, or think more on what can I do to help somebody else? What do I need to do to help myself in a positive way and not allow myself to dwell, because negative thoughts come in my head. Negative thoughts come in my head a lot and often. And the enemy, my diseased way of thinking, which is the devil, that always wants to remind me of my past because he knows his own future.
Yeah, so, that's a good one.
See, he knows his future. And so that he doesn't have to focus on his future, he wants to remind me of my past, because if he can remind me of my past, he can then not focus on his future.
Well, somebody have said that anytime the devil reminds you of your past, you remind him of his future too.
Right. See, that's the same thing. So if he can keep me focused on my past, he can then help to stay in my past. He can focus on my past. He doesn't have to look at his future. Because then he can torment me in my past, and he can stay in my past, and he has a place to hang out. He has a place, he hang out in my past. And look, if my past is a miserable place for me to be, and it causes you to not have to look at yourself, and it's so and misery is what you like, then why would you want to go anywhere else but in a place where you can have fun? You're entertained. So he's entertained.
I think if I may comment there, somebody, I get this understanding. If you focus on your past, you are going to be trapped by the devil.
Yes.
You have a chance to be trapped. It's more or less, that is you are playing into the ring. You are playing the ball into his hand. But if you focus on your own future, what you want to do, you disconnect him from where you are going. You disconnect him from your destiny.
Because I take him to a place that he's not comfortable and where he's afraid. You know, there's something the other day in our service, you said that eagles, when they fight, they take their prey up to a height because their prey cannot fight. A snake can't fight up in the air.
Yep.
Now, if you fight a snake on the ground, he can tear you up.
Yep.
He can tear you because you're fighting him
Break
in his territory. You're fighting him in his territory. So he knows all the moves. He can handle it.
Wow.
If you take him in the air. So the enemy, if you fight him in the past, he is, because he knows all the moves. He knows how to stick and move. He knows how to come through this cut. He knows. He knows the darkness. The darkness is his domain.
Yeah.
He knows how to maneuver. And in the past, he knows I'm afraid of the past. He knows there's pain in my past. He knows there's anguish in my past. There's shame in my past. There's guilt, remorse. So if I stay in my past, those thoughts that plague me in my past, then that's where I am weakest.
Good. Somebody else said.
Weak. But if I focus on my future, where when I help others, I am in the future. I am no longer in the past. So if I am helping you, I am not in the past.
That's why somebody said that you cannot be looking backward, driving forward.
No.
The person said that that's why you see the mirror to reverse is smaller
than the mirror to the forward.
To go forward.
Yes. So when I help other people, I'm not focused on myself so much. So that's why helping people and doing stuff for others takes me outside of me. And if I'm outside of me, I can't be dwelling on past stuff. And I'm not saying that I can't, because the object is not to run from me, because I always have to deal with me. But the benefit of helping other people allows me to get outside of me so I can breathe. And when I'm breathing and when I'm outside of me, it gives me a better view of me and helps me to see that I'm not all of that was behind me, that there is a future for me. There is a future for me. And that I'm not who I was and I'm not what I did. I'm who God says I am. If I stole in the past, that's not who I am. That's what I did. If I lied. So when I help other people, I see that I have the capacity to be so much more than who I am. I mean, who I was.
So people could get this kind of principle. There's difference between what you did and who you are.
Who you are, yes.
What is the difference between the two?
What I did are the things I did based on the condition which I was under and the influences in my life at that time. At the time that I was in my addiction, under the influences of the drugs, under the influences of the environment, under the influences of the principalities and powers who had control of my life. Because there were principalities and powers that had control of my life.
And spiritual wickedness in high places.
And spiritual wickedness in high places. So
that is why they said, we're wrestling against flesh and blood, but against rulers.
Yes.
Now, if there are rulers, there are people being ruled. If there are rulers in the spiritual realm, it means there are people that are being ruled.
Yes, that are us. We are being ruled. Us. That's what the people we don't understand. That's why it says we're not against flesh and blood, because we are under spiritual. When they say there's a spiritual warfare going on, we got to understand that we are the people that are being ruled. So a lot of times we think the decisions that are being made by us, but they aren't being made by us. A lot of sometimes
they're being made by the rulers of the darkness.
By the rulers of the darkness who have influence over us and our decision making. So
which are operating in high places.
Right. So why do we think that when they call alcohol the spirits? Because it is a spirit. And once I put that spirit in me, then that spirit has control of me. And then some of the decisions that I make when I have under the influence of that spirit, under the dope that I put in me, under the crack I put in me, under the other, you see they have these new drugs now. They call them K2, they call them Spice, they call them all this other stuff they call them. And our young people now today, they walk around and they look like zombies.
Yes.
They don't know how to do it. Give me a second. Just for purposes, give me a second.
Okay.
I want to see if I can do this, Pastor.
Yeah.
I want to just for a minute.
Okay.
I found what I'm looking for. Just give me a second.
Okay.
I want to see if I can do a compilation of it though.
Of the content of spices? Some of them contain some very dangerous chemicals. Somebody have said spices contain of things like embalming chemicals, what they use for dead bodies, and very, very dangerous components. So when it enters into people, it just make a dummy of people. They just be like zombies. And in England, it is called spices. In US, it's called K2. And there's the one they give to children that they call Scooby. They call it Scooby snacks. And that is like candy they give to children. So, well, like you have said, some of these things are things that people they deal with.
Oh. Okay, so Pastor, I can't do it because you have disabled the screen sharing. I don't know if you can enable screen sharing.
Yeah, it is. It's available. Let me see screen sharing.
Yeah, can you enable that for a minute?
Or maybe I make you a co-host.
Yeah, can you make me a co-host and then I can do it?
You'll be able to do that. Yes. Let me make you a co-host. You are a co-host now.
You have? Okay. All right. I just want to show this. I want the people to see this if they can see this. And when I talk about spirits, they don't have to hear it. They may not be able to hear it, but that's okay. Just as they can see this. When we talk about spirits, when we talk about not being responsible, look at this young lady. And we talk about the spirits. And we talk about principalities and powers.
That's another person. That's another lady.
I'm not sure. Is this a video? So it may be different ones. They may be showing different people.
These are people that are using synthetic drugs.
This is K2. This is Flocka.
This is a effect of K2.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's another one that I wanted to show you that like really shows this how. Let me see. Let me see. This one.
Okay.
Here we go. One. Let me see.
Somebody been on K2. That's somebody under the trailer. That's the guy on the floor.
Look at that. Just different little videos, just snippets. Normal people. That's how it looks. This man was woke up handcuffed to a wheelchair, didn't even know what happened to him. So that's it. I'm not gonna bemoan this. This is the point that I was trying to make. Hold on, let me But this the point, waking up in a wheelchair. Can you imagine waking up at the airport in a wheelchair, handcuffed, don't know how you got there, don't know what happened. And so talking about principalities and powers. So, you know,
that's rulers of darkness in high places. What you are saying is that these are forces that are ruling people here
now in the present. So what I'm saying about, so what we were saying is, I am not what I did. That's what that conversation, to go back into the conversation, I was saying, so the enemy takes me back so he can make me feel like it's a shame and a guilt. So what I did is not who I am, because what I did, as you can see what these people are doing, a lot of it, I wasn't even under the influence of myself. So if I continue to hold myself bondage, if I continue to hold myself accountable and make myself that person, then I'll never learn how to love myself. I'll never learn how to forgive myself. And I'll always say Sharon is that person, but that's not who Sharon was. That's what Sharon did.
Yeah, got you.
That's what she did. And then in actuality, because until the world starts learning, which may never totally happen, because everybody is not going to accept God, Christ, because we already know that. So until the person, because see, people can come into recovery, but is everybody who comes into recovery going to accept Christ and understand about the spiritual warfare that's taking place? No. I'd rather everybody be in recovery, but that means everybody in recovery is not going to have an acceptance.
So this is the spiritual aspect of those that are facing substance misuse addiction. There's a warfare going on in their life in the invisible realm. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, there's a warfare going on for your life. So here's the thing. The 12-step program that I take part in is a spiritual, not religious program. What you and I are talking about is religion. We understand the religious part of what's taking place.
I get you, the spiritual part.
We understand the spiritual religious part.
I get you.
That there is a battle. We understand. I could never go to my meeting and talk about, hey people, there is principalities and powers that take over you when you smoke K2. They don't have that understanding. And it's not for me to bring that into that venue. And I would never take that into that venue. You see what I'm saying? I respect. Give unto Caesar's what is Caesar's. When I'm in this venue, because this Recovery TV is, I talk about that. You and I we cross the line sometimes here.
Yeah, back and forth.
Right? We go back and forth here. In that venue, I stay in that venue. Right. So here I'm trying to tell people, the fact is that you are not what you have done. You are not what you have done. What you have done is what you did, but you are the person that you're trying to become. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are a spirit being having human experiences.
You are not what you have done.
Yes, you are a spirit being having human experiences, and you can be who you choose to be. If you choose to be a beautiful, wonderful, loving child of God, then that's who you are. You are not the person that stole and cheated and lied and did all of that under the influences of whatever. You aren't that person. And so you don't have to become trapped in who the enemy say you are.
You are not what you have done.
No, you are not what you have done.
Mm.
And don't get trapped in that endless loop. So helping other people helped me to get outside of myself long enough to be able to see and witness and know that.
So this is, you are not what you have done. That is the only way not to be trapped by your past.
Yes, you don't have to be trapped by your past. Helping other people helps you not to be trapped there. Yes.
So one major principle is to let everybody know that one of the ways not to be trapped in your past is to let you know that you are not what you have done.
No, you're not what you've done. Because if we are what we have done, then God doesn't forgive us. God doesn't forgive us. Then because all of us have come short of the glory. All of us, he said, our hearts is as filthy rags. All of us have done some horrible things at some point in our life. Then there is no need for the cross. There would have been no need for the cross if we are what we have done. Imagine the lady that lived to 96 and all the stuff she had done up until 96. Can you imagine her being all that she's done, or the gentleman that lived to 100 and he being all that he has done? Can you imagine at 97? Oh my God, what kind of person he is, because he is all that he has done. Can you imagine the accumulation of all of the things that that person have done? And then we identify him as those things. We have a loving and a faithful God who says, that's not who you are who I called you as.
Wow, that is a very life-changing nugget, changing rod, that if nobody had anything on this broadcast today, if they can pick up this, I think they are settled for this today. That you are not what you have done, because what you have done, if you are tying yourself to what you have done, that becomes a trap. Because if you tie yourself to what you have done, then why should God forgive you? Because it set the pace for forgiveness. It set the place where you can reinvent yourself. Where you can say, well, I think I'm ready to embrace who I am from what I have done. And that will help somebody to have a better attitude going forward about what they have done in time past and not want to repeat it.
Amen.
Well,
Amen.
I think from what you have said, this will help many people, not only that should help anybody in their journey of life to be able to, if people think like this, they will not be depressed. Because the word depressed is a cousin of oppressed. If you are depressed, you will be oppressed. And so if you notice that depression and oppression, they are cousins. So if you refuse to be depressed, you cannot be oppressed. Now, and one of the ways to come out of this is exactly what you are saying now. That's why Paul said, I am innocent of any man's blood, even though Stephen died under his hand, because I have wronged no man. Because he's talking about his past that have been put under the blood. I have wronged no man. I say, you, with all your criminal record, if they check DC, your criminal record is there. If they check Maryland, when they check the national criminal record, you are number 1 on the list of how many people you have killed. And you are saying that you wrong no man. Wow, what record are you looking at? I'm looking at the record of redemption. I'm looking at the record on where the blood had just finished working.
Amen. That's Paul knew. Paul knew. He knew that he was a new creature, and every day anew, as he was forgiven, that he can't keep holding on to the past of who he was and what he did. That God had already erased. God said he erased our sin as far as the east from the west. And if he gonna keep holding on to that, then
I think that was why this name changed from Saul to Paul. And maybe to help it, they will have called it Paul New. Not only, and they call Saul Hold. And they say he has moved from Saul Hold to Paul New.
Paul New.
So I think that understanding will help people to be able to embrace who they are in Christ than who they have been in themselves. So I believe that this, in a very wonderful way, will help everyone listening not to stop embracing their past and start embracing the new. Because only a new mindset can make somebody to live a new life. So if a man is in Christ, a new creature, it's a new innovation, it's a new you, emergence of a new you. So thank you, Sharon, for sharing this nugget with us. I don't know that time is jumped, so time is going like this.
I know. Our 30-minute broadcast seems to always go over, but
wow.
It's a joy and a pleasure in doing it. When the Spirit is moving, the Spirit is moving.
This is a different.
We can't time the Spirit.
Yeah, this is a very good something that I believe that I'm going to talk to a lot of our people that will work with to be able to watch. Send it to their phone and tell them, buddy, watch this. I talk to you on Sunday. Okay. So I send it to them and tell them to look at this. I'll talk to them on Sunday. Go listen to this, drink this new energy drink, and I'll meet you on Sunday. So, because this is a very good stuff that if somebody feed his mind on, it can help to energize your mind from this pity party mind. I'm no good, I've done all this bad stuff, and I can't forgive myself. This will help somebody to forgive themselves. This was somebody to power out of depression, that I am not what I have done. What a word. So I want to thank Sister Sharon. Every time she's on this platform, she pushes out life. Life is coming forth out of her. And I really appreciate you for making yourself available for God to use you to be able to give somebody not only a fresh start, but to keep the start going. Because I believe that you are qualified to say it on every level. Because this is the Sharon New that is talking. And that helps you to know how to embrace yourself and not beat up yourself. From the devil want to beat you anyway from time. Like you always say, you are doing the devil's job for him. So if you will embrace the new you, you won't need to be doing that. So I want to thank everybody that has hung on with us on this conversation. It's always a very wonderful time talking with Sharon because the Holy Spirit breathed new ideas and new pathway of thinking into her to be able to help many people. And I appreciate God's grace upon our life.
Bye-bye. It was nice being here. Okay, bye-bye.
I want to thank everybody. We'll see you later next week. Bye-bye, everybody. And tomorrow we will continue on this broadcast. This time around to be on my page on Adebotomeo Ministries. We are going to be sharing with us more on the supernatural. And I believe that things that will help us to be able to be in charge of the affairs of this life. And God bless you. I look forward to being with you tomorrow, the same time, 8 p.m. But remember, we are praying for those that are having business tomorrow. The works of your hand, we're praying for you. The works of your hand, we are praying for. The things you do, your business, your career. Join us by 7 p.m. On Zoom and 8 p.m. on Facebook. And we'll be having another time that will be a blessing to you. God bless you. I look forward to seeing you. Help me share this broadcast with somebody. Bless somebody with this. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye for now. And I look forward to being with you as we carry on this platform. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye for now.